There are several homeschooling styles. There are a plethora of homeschooling resources, curriculum resources that are available to you, right? But the first thing you want to do is make sure that you choose your homeschooling style. There's so many, right? And so first we start off with the traditional homeschool style, all right? The traditional homeschool style is more that of public school, using textbooks, structured schedules, resources that are conducive for your scholar. I would suggest that you do traditional, implement it with other homeschool styles, and kind of make it conducive for your scholar. All right, make it intentional for the needs of your scholar. All right, so yes, you may decide to be traditional, or you may decide to do something like unschooling. Is a child-led approach, right? Making sure that your child is exploring, they're going outside, they're doing different passion-driven projects. Now, I do encourage this. However, I would do this in conjunction with another homeschool style like traditional, because there is a need for child exploration, but there also is a need for them to have a structured schedule. There's a need for them to know what textbooks are. There is a need for them to know what informational text looks like and what that feels like. All right, so I would do this in conjunction with something else. There's also the Montessori, more hands-on learning approach, which I also encourage, right? You can do some traditional, you can do some unschooling. Charlotte Mason usually focuses on literature, getting involved with the things that scholars enjoy, such as arts and nature and getting outside, and all of those things are necessary, right? And most times people immerse themselves in unit studies. All right, unit studies are where you get a unit, you do all the lessons within the unit, and you move on. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that either. All right, but you have to choose what's best for you. You might do more unschooling, implemented with traditional, right? Some days you may do unschooling. Some days you may do traditional. Some days you may do Montessori. Some days you may do Montessori and traditional. And I encourage you to do that, because some days you would need to do hands-on learning experiences. For example, if you're studying measurement, right? If you're studying liquid measurements, if you're studying dry ingredient measurements, you can do a lesson on cooking, right? Of course, you can't teach cooking with the whiteboard. Okay, you got to be able to do it. You got to get in the kitchen, right? And so that day you will be doing Montessori learning and traditional. So you do your quick lesson, 15-minute lesson on fractions. And then guess what you do? You go in the kitchen, you start measuring your liquid ingredients. You start measuring your apple juice, your water. You measure water with salt in it, water with no salt, right? All of these different activities where you still are getting what you want accomplished, but you are using different homeschool learning styles to get these things accomplished. You need to sometimes sit your scholar down and say, listen, pull that whiteboard out, get that dry erase marker, and start teaching from that textbook. All right, so that they still get the feel of school. All right, so all of these things are necessary, but it is also necessary that you do what's best for your scholar. What is best for your scholar? The good thing about homeschool, guys, is homeschool is intentional, and it is based on what your scholar needs. It's not about us, it's not about me, it's not about you. It is about the needs of your scholar. All right, so keep that in mind when you're deciding, okay, your curriculum resources, when you're deciding your homeschool style. Now, for curriculum resources, I mean, the internet, guys, is everywhere. If you want a more structured curriculum, please comment below, and I will support you in finding a structured curriculum that supports you and your scholar. All right, so yes, let me know if you have challenges finding a more structured curriculum, and if you're having challenges affording a curriculum. And I will tell you this: when you first start homeschool, do not go out and buy all of these curriculum packages, right? They range between about $200 to $500. You don't have to spend that if you don't know what you're doing yet. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what you're doing. All right. And then once you figure out what you're doing, then we can go into figuring out, okay, how much you want to spend. Is there a budget that you want to incorporate? Because remember, you spending $300 on a curriculum, but you're not even doing traditional homeschooling. So you don't need those lessons. All right, so you want to make sure that you are first deciding your homeschool style, then searching for a curriculum, but then also recognizing what your scholar needs. All right, so that takes time. Go through your process of deschooling so that you know what your scholar needs. All right, and in finding curriculum resources like on Google, and at this point you can just type in a skill and the paper comes up, right? But make sure that it is something that's conducive for you. So over time, after you've been homeschooling for, I would encourage you to purchase a curriculum, because at that point, you know what your scholar needs, you know what to expect, you know your homeschool style. And so when it comes to curriculum, the options can be overwhelming, like I said, but you don't have to choose what other people are doing, because your scholar, they're not going to adapt to what other people are doing. They're only going to adapt to the things that they have going on, the needs that they have. All right. So keep that in mind when you are deciding homeschool style and curriculum resources. So you have made the decision, you have satisfied all legal requirements, you've gone through the deschooling process, you've chosen your homeschool style and your curriculum resources. Now it is time to set up your homeschool space. This is the most exciting part about homeschool to me, because I love the classroom at home. Like, oh my goodness, so cute, right? But this does not have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be exactly what you need. I encourage you, if you have an extra room, or if you even have an empty corner in your home, if you have a desk in your child's room, if you have even a space in the hallway, might be conducive for your homeschooling environment. All right, it doesn't have to be a large room or a large space, but if you have that space, make sure that you're utilizing it. Turn your whole guest room into a homeschooling classroom. All right, in this space you can have your math manipulatives, you need a whiteboard, you need a printer, you need all of these different things. If you do not have the resources to purchase these things, guess where you can go? To the Goodwill. They have books, they have games, they have math toys, they have reading accessories, they have all of these different things, headphones. They have all of these resources for you guys to purchase. And I promise you, the books be like 50 cents, 25 cents for books. All right. So you build up your library, right? Get you a bookshelf, get books that your scholar will enjoy, take them to the library so they're able to read different books. And then when you leave the library, you're able to go and purchase these books at the Goodwill, guys. Don't be afraid to go to thrift stores to pick up these different resources for your children. All right. Yes. And when you're setting up your homeschooling space, like I said, it doesn't have to be elaborate. You don't have to have all of the classroom looking materials, right? Because guess what? Instead of going out and purchase them, you can make them. All right, you can make your homeschool environment. You can go online, design you a nice schedule, design you a nice board, right? Print it out, and guess what? Plaster it on your wall. And now guess what? You got a whole classroom set up. I'm proud of you. So guess what? Do these things. The great thing about being a home teacher is you get to tap into your imagination. You get to tap into what the things that you enjoy. You get to tap into your creativity as a home teacher, right? So yes, tap in. Get all of these different things. Ask an old teacher, a retired teacher, a wise teacher, hey, do you have any products left over from your teaching experience? Because if so, send them my way. I'm getting ready to start homeschooling, and I'd like to collect some donations on setting up my homeschool environment. Don't be afraid to ask. I'm telling you, there's more than enough people out here in the world. They like, oh yes, child, I've been trying to get rid of all of this, all of these ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Take them out. They want you to take them out. So guess what? Ask. Don't be afraid to ask. All right. So yes, set up your homeschool environment. If you are in a position where you do not have a large room, you do not have a large space, but you still would like to have a nice environment for your scholar, purchase a small desk. Purchase a small desk. On their desk, you're able to put different printouts, tape the printouts to their desk, right? You can tape the multiplication table on their desk. You can tape ABCs on their desk. All of these different resources that make their homeschool environment intentional, all right? So once you purchase the desk, you set up their little wall space. You may have a clock on the wall, right? You may have a small dry erase board on the wall, right? All of these different things that will make their learning space fun, that will make their learning space feel like they are in school, all right? Now, Do not spend a lot of money. I'm telling you guys, do not do that. Just design your own space. All right. Now, what I do encourage you to do is to get some storage bins, right? After you've gone out, you've purchased all of what is necessary. You want to make sure you get you some storage bins, because I'm telling you, teachers that's watching this, teachers that know, you know that those school supplies will pile up real quick. All right. And if you are a parent of multiple scholars, make sure that you're getting not only grade level specific content, but make sure that you're getting enough for that will last them, something that will grow with them. All right. So yes, make sure that when you are developing your homeschool space, that your homeschool space is conducive for you. Your homeschool space is conducive for your scholar. All right. So once you have done all the things necessary, now it is time to structure your day. All right. So yes, like I said earlier, you don't have to have an 8-hour day for your scholar, right? A good solid 2 to 3 hours during the day will be sufficient, right? If you're doing all subjects every day, that is something that you can choose. Okay, 30 minutes here, 15 minutes here, however that looks for you, but you still want to have a schedule. I'm telling you, having a schedule will help you over time. If you are not meeting those concepts, you're not teaching those concepts in a structured way, it can be a challenge for your scholar over time. And like I said, just because you're homeschooling now doesn't mean you're going to be homeschooling all 12 years. So you have to make sure that you're keeping up, and keeping up means having a structured routine, having a schedule, putting your schedule on the wall so that you know what time you're ready to homeschool and your scholar knows what time that you're homeschooling. If you do not do this, it is going to be a challenge for you. All right. And I tell people that all the time, even if you're not homeschooling, even if you're just an average Joe, guess what? If you don't have a routine, if you don't have a way of doing things, you are setting yourself up to be unorganized. You're setting yourself up to be lazy. You're setting up yourself to just not even be successful. So you have to have a routine, something that you do on a daily basis. All right. And this will help you separate home from school, because even though you're at home, you still want to make sure that your scholar know that this is still a learning environment. So if they think, mom said I start school at 10:30, but she's usually late, so I'll just wake up at 10:50. You're establishing routines that are not going to be helpful when you decide that your scholar has other needs and you cannot meet them. You are not going to be able to do it. So that's what I said. Make sure that you're following through. Following through starts with having a routine. All right. Structured day is going to help you make sure that you are doing that from the beginning. If not, you will lose out on a lot of learning time. You will experience a lot of learning loss, because if you are taking your scholar from public school to homeschool, you don't want them to lose what they learned. You want them to lose their perspective on what school is, but you don't want them to lose their learning, the things that they've already acquired. So if you are not managing your time, if you are not exercising that part of their brain, they're going to lose it. All right. So make sure that you have established those routines, establish that time management, and say, okay, these are the things that we have to get done on today. These are the things that we have to get done by next week. All right. Yes. So you will be more efficient having a structured day. That will be my ideal day. Scholars are awake at least by 8:30, 9 o'clock. All right. There's no sleeping in, because I'm going to tell you, them sleeping in is not going to be good, because also remember this, you are also preparing your scholar for their real life. You are not just preparing them to be in your house. And if you preparing them to be in your house, you're going to let them sleep in to noon. If you preparing them to be an entrepreneur, or B, work a 9-to-5 job, or C, go to college or work in corporate America, guess what? They're going to have to be at work at 9 o'clock. But by you not having a structured routine, just letting them wake up at noon is not going to be helpful. So you want to make sure that you are setting them up for success. And the best way to set them up for success is to have a structured day. All right. So yes, waking your scholar up, everybody up by 9 a.m. Breakfast takes place from 9 a.m. to 9:45. Learning promptly starts at 9:50. All right. So you give them a 5-minute break so that they can, use the bathroom, go gather their materials, maybe help out a sibling. All right. Do that. Give them a 5-minute buffer so that they know, though, at 9:50, they are in their desk. At 9:50, they are in their homeschooling space. All right. So from 9:50 to 10:30, we're doing math. All right. From 10:30 to 10:35, we have a bathroom break. We have a water break. All right. We have an outside stretch break. All right. And then from 10:40 to 11:15, we are doing mathematics. We are working with fractions. From 11:15 to 11:45, we are making our own lunch. To 12:45, we are taking a nap. When you are homeschooling, you can incorporate naps. You can do what you want to do. Then they wake up 12:45 to 1 o'clock. They may do something, they may not. Your learning day may be over. You can choose to do 2 subjects a day. You can do 3 subjects a day. Whatever makes you happy, whatever is intentionally set up for your scholar. Implementing these routines will save you over time. Your scholar will thank you for setting up a structured day despite them just being homeschoolers. All right. You are going to deal with challenges on your homeschooling journey. The first thing you are going to deal with is this. Everybody is not going to agree with your decision to homeschool. Everybody's not going to agree. Your friends might not agree. Your family might not agree. But they are not the parent of your scholar. Do what they want with their scholar. They send their scholar to public school, go to public school. They don't have nothing to do with you. They want to send their scholar to private school. That's fine. They're doing what's best for their kid. They'll argue socialization. They'll argue they won't be able to go to the prom. They're going to argue all these different type of things. And guess what you can argue? Nothing. As you are transitioning from public school to homeschool, please make sure that you are celebrating milestones and achievements. All right. Celebrating the milestones and achievements that you and your scholar has done. Right. So if you guys started doing a lesson on nature and you guys planted a garden out back, guess what? You want to make sure that you're celebrating that. You want to make sure that you're acknowledging your follow through. You want to make sure that you're acknowledging their follow through. You want to make sure you're acknowledging their motivation, because anytime you're doing something, people want to know that they're doing a good job. I would want to know that I'm doing a good job. All right. And so, yes, your scholar wants to know that they're doing a good job. So make sure that you're celebrating these milestones. You're celebrating these achievements. And if you have a community where you are working with other homeschool parents, you are in a homeschool co-op, celebrating with them, right? Going out with them and celebrating the different things that you guys are doing, because by you choosing to homeschool, you are literally changing the trajectory of your life and your scholar's life. So that is a big deal. You are strengthening your family bond. You are solidifying your family unit. You are establishing a new norm. And so these things are commendable. These things deserve a praise, right? And so make sure that you are doing this on a daily basis. If your scholar gets a concept that they have been struggling with, making sure that you are praising them for that, making sure that you are encouraging them for that, because the more you encourage them, the more you motivate them, the more you keep them determined, they will work with you. They will work for you. They will do anything you need them to do. They will enjoy learning again. Right? They will establish their love of learning again, which in turn for you will make it easy to teach. It's easy to teach kids that love to learn. It's hard to teach people that don't like school. It's hard to teach people that don't like to learn. Right? So by you doing this, by you being encouraging and celebrating them, they will become better adults. And like I said previously, you are always teaching your scholar. The thing is about being a home teacher, you're always on, even when you're off. All right.